In my opinion, the demand and the price for popcorn, or is it bobcorn, during the general election will be nothing to write home about. Yeah. However, the price for bobcorn during the party nominations this week, drama bin drama, Arab drama, Ole drama, mto drama, zote pamoja, hata side drama. Party nominations, my friends, moto ya kuotea mbali sana. And on my show today, you're going to learn exactly why. Because there are so many things our analysts don't see in party nominations. There are so many dynamics at play during party nominations that few people don't even know exist. So this should be a very revealing show for most of us today. Maybe the only people will not be surprised at this show are political veterans, those who have been in this game for a very long time. But even those ones are going to be shocked, because there's a new phenomenon that is going to come into play in 2022. Indeed, has already come into play in this, our mother of all general elections, 2022. Karibu sana, and as usual, enjoy. Most people will not confess to you, but we all have our nightmares. You know that dream that you have, then you wake up in a cold sweat, and then you say, phew, it was so real. Thank God it was a dream. But there are two gentlemen in Kenyan politics whose nightmare we know very well. Raila and Ruto always wake up in a cold sweat, having a certain nightmare, which you should all know. And it's not losing the elections. That's not a big deal. There is even a bigger deal. You know what it is? Party nominations. Sasa hii shetani party nominations. Hii kitu ilitoka wapi? Yes. You can be sure that WSR, as people like calling him, William Samoei Ruto, a very brave man, a man who cannot be shaken very easily, is waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. The reason? Party nominations are UDA. You can also be sure experienced, seasoned politician, gallant, legend, a man who has done so much for the country called Kenya, Raila Amolo Odinga, wakes up in the middle of the night in a very cold sweat. Party nominations. Yeah. Now let's understand why this is a nightmare for party leaders. And let's start with the topic of my immediate previous video, moles. In 2017, there were moles in ODM. Moles placed there by a man called William Samoei Ruto. Moles that were fully paid for, financed, etc., etc. Now, fortunately for ODM, Raila is not very easy to fool. One of those moles was identified. A man called Muhammad Ali, the Nyali legislator. And this man made a big effort to get the ODM nomination. He didn't want any other political party. He just wanted ODM. He would easily have joined one of the many political parties in Mombasa. in the coast region rather. But he didn't. He just wanted ODM party nominations. Na akajipanga. And his campaign was very well financed. I mean, this man is a former journalist. Journalists are not very badly paid. But then the salary of a journalist cannot afford a full-blown campaign for MP in the country called Kenya. Don't fool yourself. It can't. Even if the said MP saves for 20 years, ngumu sana. But Muhammad Ali's campaign was very well financed. And ODM realized what was happening. They realized this was a mole. So Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho was sent down to deal with the problem. And of course he needed somebody he could trust. So he fronted his own brother. And many people, many observers, including yours truly, were disgusted. These ODM guys want to shut out our hero, Muhammad Ali, Jicho Pevu, the man who has revealed so many things to us, brought us so many unique exposés. And by the way, do you know the source of Muhammad Ali's privileged information? Do you know the secret of Muhammad Ali, Jicho Pevu, where he got his secrets for his reports that no other journalist would get? I'm sure you can guess. WSR, William Samoei Ruto, was the source for stories. And so when we were very annoyed with ODM, finally Jicho Pevu was pushed out of ODM nominations. He lost. Actually, it was rigged out. And we're also annoyed. But now looking back, we were annoyed for nothing. ODM were dealing with a mole. That's party nominations for you. And let us fully understand the consequences had Muhammad Ali won the ODM nomination without anybody being none the wiser. The man would have learnt ODM inside secrets and passed them on to WSR. The man would have gotten so much information, valuable information, and passed it on to WSR. Information that could easily have damaged the ODM party, brought it down in a flash. Unajua politics si mchezo. I always tell guys on this channel, politics, national politics, is not your standard 7 election for a class prefect. Oh, at the election for a class prefect on a wider scale, countrywide. Hapana, it is something very different. Very, very different. As different as darkness and light. What I mean is that the difference is very drastic. Very pronounced. But the truth of the matter, actually the terrible truth, is that not all moles fail to go through. Some William Samoei Ruto moles went through. I'll give you just one example. The Malindi legislator, Aisha Jumwa. You'll remember after the presidential elections and the controversy that followed, this is the leading light of the ODM party who came out with the phrase, lazima kitaeleweka, yeah? Which she said while swinging those huge hips of hers. And we're all so happy and cheering her on. Oh, WSR mole. And at least 7 other William Samoei Ruto moles who made it through ODM party nominations. Members of ODM, elected leaders who are in ODM but are actually moles for William Samoei Ruto. Bottom line, one of the biggest nightmares about party nominations is that your opponent will always field his candidates, carefully selected candidates. And make no mistake about it, your opponent is not going to field people who will fail. No. He's not going to field weak candidates. No. They will field very strong contenders. And this is the point I was trying to get across in my previous video, that you can never be able to identify moles. Because look at Aisha Jumwa. If you had asked me in 2017, I'd have told you get out of here. Aisha Jumwa is so close to Baba. Aisha Jumwa is who she is because of Baba. Baba is the one who picked her up from the political dustbins of Kanu, yeah, and made her who she is today. How could she betray Baba? Aisha Jumwa Mole in ODM? Forget it. You're dreaming. Well, now we know the reality. What we are saying is Ndoto ya Mchana is actually factual. It is 100% true. Aisha Jumwa yuko ndani kabisa of UDA. A very staunch follower of William Samoei Ruto. Fully paid for, fully financed by William Samoei Ruto. That's the reality. That's the truth. The things people get up to with their phones when they're in private. What? Well, there's nothing wrong with taking selfies. But did you know that a single idea can change your life forever? I know at least 2 people, regulars on this channel, who have had the experience of one idea lifting them from not knowing where the next meal is going to come from to very busy people. No kidding. I know at least 5 people, regulars on this channel, who have found an idea using their phones that has changed the direction of their businesses forever. From somebody who had a small stall somewhere in town, Nairobi CBD, to a guy who owns a serious business in some office in Upper Hill. One idea that they took in on their phone on this channel. I'm here to give you a heads up to make sure that you spare just a handful of minutes to take in the very brief video clip at the tail end of this video. Some of you have been very flattering. You have told me I've changed lives. Well, I'm hoping to change a few more lives for real with this clip. Right at the end of this video you're taking in, please find the time for this clip that has the real potential of changing your life. Now back to what I was saying. Thanks for your time. Let us look at another nightmare of nominations. You could plant your mole into the other side of the political divide, not to win, but kuchafua. Let me give you an example. You know very well that as a political outfit, you stand no chance of winning the Nairobi gubernatorial seat. And you realize that your opponents have a very strong candidate for governor. So what do? You go and look for another character who can easily match the strength of the strongest person running for the gubernatorial seat. And maybe this person was interested in being an MP. He's a good politician, very popular. Maybe they're interested in becoming a senator. You tell them, no, relax. I will give you X amount of Kenya shillings. I will buy you a house. Actually, I will buy land and build you a house in Karen. The plot is not very far from where I, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency, lives. Okay? Can you do this deal? And you say, yes, why not? Sawa, this is what you're supposed to do. Go and insist that you want the party nomination for governor of Nairobi. Oh, but there's this other strong card. No. Go and insist. Get your supporters. Try and get as many voters on your side as possible. Your mission ni kuchafua the party nominations of my opponent. Do you now understand? Yes. Kwenda ufanye kazi. That's how it works. So what happens? The party nominations for governor of Nairobi are very messy. And a casual observer may think that these plans by our enemies did not work, because after all, our strong candidate is through. They have the party nomination. Nothing has changed. Huh? Are you sure? Now, the fact that they got the party nomination under controversial circumstances, a very tightly run race, which divided the party right down the middle. And by that I mean the supporters of the party, who are voters in Nairobi County, were split right down the middle. And even those who are going to automatically vote for the said strong candidate have now moved to this other guy who was messed up in the nominations. Of course, people don't know this other guy is a mole. They have no idea. They just know that this guy was messed up. Raila rigged out this man, from governorship of Nairobi. Let us teach Raila a lesson. And so what happens, best case scenario in the election, is that the votes are split. The ODM supporter votes are split between the strong candidate and the mole, leaving the Ruto candidate with a very easy through pass to winning the governorship of Nairobi. Now, don't read too much into that. That's just a hypothetical example. But I'm sure you now understand what I'm talking about. Party nominations, in fact, this is a favorite tactic of opponents. The whole idea is to chafua. You use party nominations to weaken your opponents as much as possible. Indeed, party nominations are your last chance to weaken your opponent before the battle starts. I'm sure you've watched these movies whereby the hero is about to go into a very, very competitive situation, maybe a fight. And then just before the fight, his evil opponents break his leg. And you say, oh no, the suspense of the movie increases. Because now the star has a broken leg. And the fight cannot be postponed. A movie called Karate Kid had a similar strategy. The guy didn't break his leg, but it was injured badly. They could hardly step on it. And now they're coming in for the final showdown. I'm sure you get my gist. So, that's what it is. You weaken your opponent. You make sure that your opponent will arrive at the election to face you while they're limping. And you don't have any other opportunity to weaken your opponent except his party nominations. This is your last chance. Actually, the party nominations opportunity is a do or die for you. Because if you don't succeed in weakening your opponent, you lose the election. It's as simple as that. Now you can understand how dirty party nominations are. And I get so amused when the press are always so busy blaming party leaders. Oh, this party is so disorganized. They can't run a proper nomination. I hate Kenya. You know, it's not possible to analyze politics on the surface. You'll never get it right. You need to go deep and find out what is really happening. Let me give you a very good example, which you'll all be able to recognize immediately. In 2017, the Jubilee Party nominations were very, very messy. In fact, they had to be repeated. They were very messy. And the areas where there was a big mess were, can you guess? The Mount Kenya region and the Rift Valley. And there are a lot of complaints. And there was just chaos. And people are saying, a lot of people in the press, this shows you how disorganized the Jubilee Party are. These Jubilee people, they're so disorganized. ODM people are talking like that. And unfortunately, ODM sympathetic journalists, the press, who are supposed to give us information, educate the public, inform the public, those are the guys talking loudest. Jubilee are very disorganized. Now, looking back in retrospect, we understand exactly what was happening. William Samoei Ruto was rigging in his people in the Mount Kenya region. William Samoei Ruto was rigging in his people in the Rift Valley. He wanted only people who can be loyal to him, people to assist him in his bid for the presidency. The deputy president was looking ahead beyond the 2017 elections to the 2022 polls. Now you understand why there were chaos. Yeah, because you can't be cheated while you're watching. People complained, etc., etc. And that was the reason why the Jubilee nominations were so messy. Now you understand. And this is why I started today's show by telling you party nominations are the things that make party leaders, Raila Odinga, William Samoei Ruto, wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. Huh? Party nominations. Huh? Party nominations. Tafanya nini? Uwi. Party nominations are not a joke. And that is what we're facing this week. And remember, apart from the factors I've mentioned, there is something else that will come into play for the first time in Kenyan politics. A crowded field of very determined contestants. Let me explain. You see, previously in Kenyan politics, we have not had a large exodus of people graduating from being councillors to being MPs. Yeah, the gap between those two seats, elective seats, was too big. But with devolution and the new constitution, MCAs are now not very far away. In fact, they're a heartbeat away from MP. And so there are very many MCAs all over the country who have been plotting quietly, making their plans quietly, but in a very determined manner, knowing that in 2022 lazima niingie bunge ya kitaifa. Yeah? And some of these people are very well financed. So you find some constituencies have one or two MCAs giving the incumbent a run for their money. And you know MCAs are close to the people. I mean the assembly that they attend is in the constituency. They're always talking to the people on the ground. Therefore they have a huge advantage. The MP, as soon as he's elected, they go and live in Nairobi. Yeah, they come over the weekend once in a while. But the MC is there all the time. And now the moment of truth has come. I think you get my gist. This is going to be a very competitive election countrywide. And this game starts with the party nominations. Hii shetani inaitwa party nominations. Folks, expect nothing less than high wire drama, fireworks, kivumbi ya ajabu. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha. When God gives you a gift, it is not for you. It is not for your family. It is for other people. You're supposed to use your gift to change the lives of other people. And for those who seek happiness in this life, nothing will make a human being happier. Trust me, nothing in this world will make a human being happier than the knowledge that they have changed one person's life forever. Yeah? Now I've been very fortunate to have been very gifted by God. And not only gifted, but also trained in the renowned University of Hard Knocks. Yeah? The harsh university of this life. And I feel very privileged and very humbled, to get to know all the time that I've changed many people's lives forever. I even know a couple of people who no longer come to this channel. Not because they hate me, but because they are busy these days. So busy that they hardly have time, but they have regained their dignity. They are putting food on the table. They are doing a lot of things, amazing things. And all thanks to some books I produced, which you can see on your screens right now, that changed their lives. Not only did they get that idea that changed everything, but they also got the skills to be able to sell without looking like they're selling. Because it's one thing to get a brilliant idea to make money, but it's quite another to do it practically and get people interested and get somebody to actually pay you real money for what it is you're offering. It is also one thing to have a business that is struggling, a business operating way below its true potential. That's one thing. And it's quite another to turn around that business so that it prospers. You have plenty of customers. My sincere hope in making this short clip is to influence and change the lives of many more Kenyans, because that is my mandate. That is what I was born to do. And I felt that this is the perfect time. Many people have been hit very hard by the COVID manenos. Life has become very difficult, almost unbearable for some. Some businesses that were making serious money before Corona are now struggling. Others have shut down completely. There is no better time for these two amazing titles have produced. 101 brilliant business ideas or money-making ideas that will thrive in the country called Kenya and well beyond, almost anywhere in the world. And how to get plenty of customers immediately, very quickly. For only $25, you can have both ebooks, life-changing ebooks. And for only $15, you can have only the ideas. Now you can see details on your screens right now. You will find full payment details in the description area below this video on YouTube. Go for it. I highly recommend it. And I have a suggestion. Maybe you're okay. You're doing okay. I would suggest that you get it for a friend. You get the books for a friend, a relative, or somebody you know who is having it very difficult right now. It'll help them. It'll change their lives. And you'll have helped me to touch one more life, to change one more life, because that is my mission. Asante sana.